So today we're gonna look at what's being called the biggest Roblox anime scam in history. And at first I was assuming that was gonna be an over exaggeration and that was gonna be ridiculous, but the more I looked into the situation, the more I can say it honestly isn't that crazy to say. More specifically, I seen a video by Balboa, by the way, and what he said in that video was actually crazy. But for those that don't know what situation I'm talking about a jujutsu kaisen game that I even covered on my channel called Sorcery. And Sorcery is supposed to be a parry-based RPG jujutsu kaisen game that is in early access, and early access is sometimes a bad sign, so you can probably already tell where I'm going with this. But before the crazy scam we're gonna talk about even happened, you could already argue was a little bit shady what they was doing. I mentioned this in my last video on the game, but they claim the game is an open world PvP and PvE orientated game. So obviously I'm assuming a lot of people bought the game expecting to get an open world PvP and PvE orientated game. But in reality, the game has barely any open world elements. It's basically just like a mission board simulator where it sends you to a new area, so it's basically not open world at all. And the only type of PvE in the game, at least when I was playing it, was literally just bandits. So pretty much just cursed spirits that weren't even like look like cursed spirits, so literally just like zombie bandits. Now at the time I gave them the benefit of the doubt as they're probably trying to make the game an open world PvE and PvP orientated game, so I'm assuming later it will be that. But it doesn't mention that anywhere. It doesn't even mention it's in early access, so a lot of people are probably thinking that's what they're getting when they buy it for 800 Robux in the store. But if I'm being completely honest, that's really nothing compared to what they're doing now. And also real quickly, I do want to mention the game was pretty fun when I did play it, so I don't want to misconstrue my actual opinion on the game with what they're doing right now. Although the game was very bare bones, it did still have a lot of potential in my opinion, and the combat was fun. And that's part of the reason it sucks to see what they're doing right now, because a game that actually has good potential might just get ruined by terrible management and just like terrible ideas in general. Like this situation just makes no sense. Let me show y'all. So I don't know exactly when the game opened up, but I do know the game got most of its players about 4 weeks ago when Vert made a video on it. Vert's video did really good. It got like 100k views, and because of that video, hella people bought the game. I believe you could already buy tester a little bit before that, but the game got way more popular, like infinitely more popular, so it might as well have released 4 weeks ago if I'm being completely honest. But basically what happened is everybody bought the game, and the game got shut down very early after everybody bought the game. So if you just spent $10 on the game, you weren't actually able to play it, and that cycle kind of continued for a little bit. People kept buying the game, it would get shut down, it would go open for a little bit, then it would get shut down again. And part of the reason it got shut down is because apparently the game was using a bunch of stolen assets, and you're not gonna believe this, that's also not part of the scam situation I'm even trying to talk about now. But I believe the developer was at first a solo dev, so he was just stealing assets where he could to try to make the game as good as possible. And I believe these shutdowns were so they could replace the stolen assets with their own assets now that he has a full dev team. I don't know if that's completely true when they actually did replace the assets, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was for. So I want you to imagine you're one of the people that spent the 800 Robux to buy the game. You buy the game, you play for a little bit, it gets closed, then maybe you wait a bit, get to play it again, then it gets closed again. You have to deal with that. Apparently the game has stolen assets. You didn't even know about that. And now the cherry on top is now they're going to be releasing the game to the public, but you might be thinking, oh, it's fine. I mean, I got to play early and it's going to be free release, but it's not free release. It's going to be released to the public, but still paid access. And that might not sound that bad. Well, damn, well, I did buy it, so I should probably still be able to play it, even though I spent more money than it might be now. I still got to play it early and I'll still have the game. But as dumb as that sounds, that's actually not the case. As soon as the game goes quote unquote public, which is basically just the same thing but cheaper price, it's not going to be available for the people that bought it already. So if you spent the 800 Robux to barely even get to play the game, you're also going to have to spend another 400 Robux like all the people that never even spent the 800. So basically they're saying we go double charge you and womp womp, spend the 400, little bro. Which I'm not even gonna lie, I don't even know how they thought that was a good idea. Like, oh, they're gonna love this. It's only 400 Robux. You only gotta spend another 400. What's the problem? What, are you broke or something? Just drop another 400. You already spent 800. What's another 400 to you? Like I said, actually might be the most dumb thing I've heard in my life. And I don't know how this is possible, but a lot of the admins and stuff were saying you don't need to rebuy the game if you already bought tester before. And the owner himself is like, yes, you do. Where did you hear that from? So I don't know what type of communication is going on within the dev and staff team, but they don't even know what they don't even know what they know what's going on. Like what I'm assuming happened is the admins were like, oh, well, of course you wouldn't have to buy it again. That'd be stupid as hell. And the owner was like, where'd you hear we weren't stupid as hell? Like, I really don't understand this logic. Basically what they're doing is they're just lowering the price from 800 to 400, and the people that spent 800, instead of already getting hoed because they could have bought it and just waited and got it for 400 instead of 800, they want them to get recharged the 400. But the owner also did say if you did buy the game like one day before it's shut down, you'll still get to play it for like 7 to 14 days before it goes public. public or basically just lowering the price. And the way he typed this in the chat, he was like, oh guys, don't worry, you still get to play the game for 7 to 14 days before we recharge you. Like, you think those people that bought the game one day before it shut down want to just play the game for 7 days and then get recharged? You think that makes them happy? And honestly, the craziest part about all of this is I wouldn't be surprised if he gets away with this with literally no repercussions. Because as dumb as it sounds, people are still gonna pay the 400 even though they already got charged 800. Even though that sounds absolutely ridiculous, people are still gonna do it. And although people like me are gonna try to call them out and say why that's dumb and why that shouldn't be a thing, that doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna do anything about it. They already closed down the general chat, so people can't even complain in their Discord, and unless nobody buys it, I doubt they're even gonna change it. And when it's something as simple as literally just making it so the people that already spent 800 Robux can just continue to have the game like they should, I don't understand how this is such a big issue. I mean, tell me what you guys think, but to me this literally just looks like pure greed. Like, there's literally no reason he should be doing this outside of that, in my opinion. And honestly, this is probably the worst way to go about it, in my opinion. You probably could have just added some game passes to make up for the money that you would have lost off not doing this, but instead you're gonna piss off your entire community because you want them to repay for something they already bought and barely got to play. But I really do hope someone or something stops this from happening. I don't know if it's even possible, but this is really the most I can do. The general chat is closed, content creator chat is closed. The only thing you can really do, like I said, is make videos like this. So if you guys want to boost the algorithm on this video just so it gets bigger and maybe something gets done about it, I'd appreciate it. Also helps the channel, you know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Later.